So we're going to do an experiment to find out if the height of the centre of mass of the tower affects the angle at which it topples at. The apparatus that we need for this experiment are some Lego bricks to build the tower, a piece of wood which we're going to tilt the tower on, a shelf we're going to place the piece of wood to keep it steady, a protractor to measure the angle of the tower, and a ruler to measure the height of the tower, plus some sellotape and a piece of paper. The first step is to draw the table. In the table, you need to draw the independent variable in one column. In this case, it's going to be the height of the tower, and the dependent variable in the other column, which is the angle of the tower, the toppling angle. Now, the height of the tower, you're going to build the tower in steps of 2. The height of the tower is actually double the height that you want, because you want the height of the centre of mass, and that's going to be half the height of each level that you're going to do. So the first thing you do is build your first level, which is made out of just 2 levels of Lego bricks. Doesn't matter whether it's solid or whether it's got a hole in it like this. It just means we can use less Lego bricks to do it. Doesn't affect the experiment at all. So we've got the first level, which is made out of 2 levels of Lego bricks, and first thing we need to do is measure the height of that tower. We do that just with a ruler across like this. Looking straight down at the ruler, we can see that that's 1.9 centimetres. So I'm going to write that down in the table. That's my first height of the tower, 1.9 centimetres. That means the height of the centre of mass is half of that, so that's 0.95 centimetres as the height of the centre of mass. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to use a piece of sellotape to make sure that when we put the tower on the piece of wood, that it doesn't slip down it, because all we wanted to find out is what height it topples at. So I cut a piece of sellotape like that, put it on the bottom rung of the Lego, and then put the tower on the piece of wood as high as you can on the top, with the sellotape on it out, keeping it in place so it doesn't slip. So now when we tilt the piece of wood, it's going to topple at a certain angle, quite a high one for this one, up here. Okay, so we're going to measure that angle. So to measure the angle, we're going to use the protractor. And the protractor we're going to put on the edge of this shelf like this. We're going to take a piece of wood right next to it, and you should notice that the piece of wood is just thick enough so that you've got the corner of your protractor ready to measure the angle. What you're going to do then for the first one is measure the angle by tilting it like this until it topples like this. It's going to be quite a steep angle because it's got a small tower like this. Here we go, toppling, and that is 66 degrees is my first angle like this. Okay, so now I can put it back down like this. Record that as my first angle in the table. What I'm going to do is build the tower 2 by 2, and then I'm going to take it apart 2 by 2 and measure the angle as I take it apart as well. So the next thing is to put the next level, just attach it on the top like this. I'm going to measure the height of this tower like this. For this one it's 3.8 centimetres. So this I write 3.8 in my table, and the height of the centre mass is half of that, so that's 1.9 centimetres for the height of the table. Take it back down like this, take the protractor, again making sure that I'm measuring the angle of the top of the piece of wood, lift it up again like this, it topples at this time 44 degrees. Then I'm going to add another 2 levels like this. Measure the height of this one. Height of this one is 5.8 centimetres. Measure the angle again. This time I've got 37 degrees. Okay, and that's the last height. So now what I'm going to do is take them off and do the angle again. So I'm going to just repeat this last angle. So we're going to put it down like this. $18 this time. Now I'm going to take a level off. I'm going to take 2 bricks per level off like this. Measure it again as we're going down. I've got, this is 9.6, just double check that's 9.6. Yeah, that's exactly the same. So I'm not going to measure the height again on the way down, but I am going to measure the angle. $23. Take another 2 bricks off. So the final level. Last 2 left. So finally, the last thing to do, since you've got 2 angles there, is to work out the average of the 2 angles by adding them up and dividing by 2. And then you need to plot a graph of the height of the tower against the toppling angle. The height of the tower goes along the x-axis and the toppling angle goes along the y-axis.